Come on in. Don't scroll by this when you see this. Come on in. Happy Sunday to you. Listen, good people. When you think about health, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about health? See, most people think physical, right? That is part of it, right? But listen, you can be physically disciplined and emotionally lazy. Oh, wait. See, watch this. You can be eating clean, right? And emotionally dysregulated, right? Right? You can be, like I said, physically disciplined, but mentally lazy, eating clean, and emotionally dysregulated. You can be working out every day, right? But neglecting your spiritual workout. So in this episode today, right, we're going to continue the series of the 4 legs of life. Health is an important leg, right? Because if you neglect any part of your health, right, your life, it starts feeling unstable and shaky, and you affect your ability to be authentic. So welcome back to another episode of Soul Truth Sunday, good people, where we slow things down. We recognize our patterns. We regulate our bodies through those emotions, right? We get a new revelation on what to do different. We build a rhythm around that revelation and put it on repeat mode so you can tell your soul truth, so you can dare to be you. Man, listen, I'm excited about this episode today. Yes, sir. I've been up since 6 o'clock waiting on y'all. Y'all know I get excited about Soul Truth Sunday. Listen, and real quick, I've been pubbing the Father's Day episode. I don't know why I thought Father's Day was this weekend, good people. Charge it to my head and not my heart. I was so excited about the 5 P's of a regulated man. That episode is next week. So, fellas, make sure you tap into that special Father's Day episode next week. The 5 P's of a regulated man. So, today's episode, we continue in the series of the 4 legs of life. So, I've been doing a series over the 4 legs of life: identity, relationships. Now, this is the health leg, and then the money leg is the last leg. So go check out those other 3 videos that I've done. I did an overview of what the 4 legs of life was, and then I did the first video about the identity, consistent but feeling disconnected. Go check that out. And then the last video I did, are you safe with you? Ooh, the relationship with yourself and your higher power. And today, we talking about that health, good people. Health. What type of health do you have? Or are you just functioning, right? What's your spiritual health, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health? Yeah, so that's what we getting into this episode right here, right? So listen, man, let's just jump right in because I'm super excited about this. So listen, like I said, when you guys think about health, right? I want to set this up. You already know me. I'm a note taker. So if you see me looking down, man, I'm a note taker. So listen, I'm going to set this up with this. When y'all think about health, what do y'all think about? Like I said, most people think about a physical health, right? Right? A physical health. Most people never think about mental health. Most people never think about their emotional health, right? Their energy in motion. I'm going to get to that later in the show, right? Emotional health is just your energy in motion. Most people never think about their spiritual health. See, I want you to listen to this, right? Health is all 4 of those, right? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, right? That's why most people can look together on the outside. They can be driving it, living in it, spending it, look together on the outside, but be an emotional wreck on the inside, be mentally exhausted, right? In their thoughts, right? Because they're not taking care of all the components that go with health. And if you neglect one of those components of health, man, it affects your ability to be authentic. So listen, man, let's just jump right in, right? Let's just jump right into the first part. The first part I want to talk about is the actual physical health. The physical health, your body, right? So what is your physical routines like for your health? What is your physical routines like for your health? What are you doing every day to keep your physical body intact? So I wrote down this. What are you putting in your mouth? Ooh-wee, because food is medicine. I want y'all to really hear me. Man, I've been plant-based for like 7, 8 years, so I'm going to get to that. But so I wrote down, what are you putting in your body? What routine do you have to take care of your temple? Health is what you put in your body. I want you to hear me when I say this. Fitness is what you do to your body. You can be fit, right, and not be healthy. But once you be healthy, you'll always be fit. What are you putting into your body? Let's start with that. What is your physical diet like? Let's start with that. So, listen, good people, y'all know I've been plant-based. I talk about this a lot, right? So I've been plant-based now for, I don't know, about 8 years, right? Because I had to really change what I was putting into my body. Because I say this all the time, you cannot outwork a bad diet. And when you're not feeling your best physically, that's hard for you to be your best mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Okay, think about it like this. You ever wake up, and I'm 47 years old, so I didn't woke up like this before. You ever wake up and you just don't feel your best? That you just don't feel your best. And so think about those days you wake up and you don't feel your best. It's hard for you to get through the day with mental clarity. It's hard for you to get through the day with emotional regulation because your physical body doesn't feel good. Now think about this. Put that on repeat mode. So every day you wake up, something about your physical body is not in alignment with the health that you know that you deserve, with the health that you know you should have. That's going to make it very difficult for you to express yourself in a way that you know lines with your authentic self. So listen, years ago, I decided to change what I put in my body. Why? Because I started to notice those physical effects on my body. So when we moved to Dallas, y'all heard me talk about this in my last videos. Go check out those other videos. But what prompted me to go plant-based, right? Because my physical body, right? I was still, watch this, I was still working out every day. I was still going to play ball every day, but I had started to pick up weight, right? Right? When we lived in Dallas, because my emotional state was dysregulated, right? That caused me to do what? The pattern that showed up through my emotional dysregulation was what? Eating. The eating caused me to do what? Gain weight. That was the habit, right? So as I started to pick up weight, I was still working out every day. I was still playing ball every day. But I got up to my heaviest. I was probably about 190, like 188. For me, good people, that's super heavy for me. Like my playing basketball weight was 165. What I weigh right now is like 165. I'm in my playing weight. But because of what I was eating, I wasn't monitoring what I was putting in my body because I was trying to outwork a bad diet. And you cannot outwork a bad diet. So what you put in your body is just as important as what you do to your body. See, most people confuse health and fitness. Like I said earlier, health is what you put in your body. Fitness is what you do to it. So I had to make a change, right? With my physical health on what I was putting in my body, right? So that's the first thing. So what did I change first about my physical health? It was, well, actually, let me back up to that. It was my water. Shout out to Teresa Lovelace, man. Look, she got me on this alkaline water, right? So my body was very acidic, man. I used to drink a lot of Gatorade, a lot of sugary drinks, right? You know, athletes, we think Gatorade was the best thing since sliced bread, right? Long story short, part of my health journey, how I started cleaning up my health, I got introduced to this Kangen machine. It's called Kangen water. It's like alkaline water. It makes like these 3 different versions, 9.5, right? So I got introduced to this water because the quality of water matters. I want you to think about this. Food, your body can go months without food, man. I know people, man, who didn't went on 45-day fast just on water, right? They didn't do nothing but just drink water, right? But your body can only survive 2 or 3 days without water. Why? Water is important. So your quality of water matters, right? So they introduced me to this new quality of water. Needless to say, that was the beginning of my health journey. I got off Gatorade, right? I started drinking more water. I started losing weight. My skin changed, all of that. Then it went to the diet. So watch this. What I put in my body, starting with the water, how I started to hydrate, then I moved over to how I started to fuel my body. Because food is medicine, right? Food should fuel your body. You should not eat food and feel lethargic. You should not eat food and feel like you need to go take a nap. That's what American standard diet has taught us. That's what the American way has taught us, right? That you should eat till you stuffed and full. And when you eat, you should be tired, go take a nap. You hear people say this all the time after they eat. Oh, I'm stuffed. Oh, I need a nap. You're not supposed to be, good people. Think about food like a car, right? When your car is on empty and you go to a gas station to fill up your car, when you put gas in that gas tank, that gives your car more fuel to go different places, right? It doesn't, when you fill up your car, it doesn't cause your car to be stationary. It gives your car more energy, more fuel to go different places. Food is no different. Food is medicine to the body and it's fuel, right? And if you don't start understanding that, right, you will self-sabotage your own health by putting the wrong things in your body and wondering why you keep feeling drained and wondering why your energy is gone throughout the day, wondering why you can't muster up enough energy throughout your day to get the things done that you need, wondering why your mental clarity goes in and out. Food. What are you fueling your body with? It matters. How are you hydrating your body? Now, listen, I ain't saying you got to go plant-based like me, right? I've been plant-based 7, 8 years now, right? So I ain't saying you got to go plant-based like me, but I am saying you got to find you a diet, right? That fits who you are, that can pull the best out of you. This is what this leg of health is talking about. This is the health leg, good people, right? You got to find a diet that fits that, right? Because listen, I wrote this down. You can be disciplined and still misaligned. You can be disciplined physically, working out every day, disciplined, going to the gym, doing all that stuff, getting your workout in, getting your steps in. Ooh, I'm moving, right? But still misaligned with your body from a diet perspective. So now you're spinning your wheels, wondering why you're not losing weight, wondering why you're not feeling your best, because you misalign with what you're putting in your body. I want you to hear that. I want you to really hear that before we move on to the next part, right? Right? I want you to really hear that. So that's what I had to change, what I put in my body. That's why I went plant-based. You hear me talk about that. I talked about a little bit about that. But yeah, I really had to wake up to what I was putting in my body, good people, because I noticed as I started getting older, right? When I moved back from Dallas, I was in my mid-30s at this time, right? I started to feel sluggish. I started to feel lethargic. I wasn't moving like I needed to on the basketball courts. People that I was normally able to get by on the basketball court when I moved back from Dallas, man, I felt like I was moving in mud, right? And I couldn't really figure out until it clicked. Man, my diet, I can't outwork that. No matter how many days I was in the gym playing ball, no matter how many days I was working out, I couldn't outwork it. Another part that changed for me physically in my health is when I changed the way I work my body out, right? Y'all hear me talk about OPT a lot, right? Shout out to Dr. J, man, Dr. Calvin Johnson, baby. Yeah, he gave me this workout called the OPT workout, right? When I was coming up, right? I was trying to go pro, right? So when I was trying to go pro in pro basketball, I had tore my hamstring. And Dr. J gave me this book called Optimum Performance Training, right? It breaks your physical training down into 3 different parts, right? Stability, strength, and power. Because your body is made up of those 3 types of level of muscles. Stability muscles, think about that as the brakes of the body, right? Right? That's kind of how you decelerate, right? And then your strength muscles, right? That's really no explanation. Your strength muscles are the larger muscle groups of your body, right? Biceps, your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings. These are the muscles that you can see. Like you can see mine through my shirt right now. Baby, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm in this thing. So those are your strength muscles. And then you mix stability and strength muscles together, you get your power, right? Well, I tore my hamstring because my stability muscles was too weak. And I kept used to train my power muscles. If you keep training your power muscles and don't build your stability and strength muscles, you run the risk of tearing something, right? So that workout, OPT workout, it wasn't only a framework for me to build my body the way it is now at 47 years old. I'm 47 years old, good people, when I look like this, right? But I had to build it. That OPT framework built that for me. Stability, strength, power. But I noticed something different as well. That's not just a framework for the body. That's a framework that I use for life, good people, because most people try to operate in their power all the time, their calling, their gifting, right? Their purpose, right? Their skill set without stabilizing themselves, right? Core beliefs, core values, their identity, right? Then they end up tearing something in life like I did physically in my body. Health, good people. How is your health? Right? Is your health in alignment with your authentic self? Or are you spinning your wheels? Or are you consistent at the wrong things? Right? So yeah, listen, I want you to really hear that, man. OPT training changed my life. It didn't only change my physical body, but it changed the way I frame my life, because those frameworks work for me not only in life, but they work for me in my physical body. They mirror each other, right? Because I understand one thing. In order for me to operate in my power, my calling, my gifting all the time like I want to, I have to stabilize and strengthen. Because if I don't stabilize and strengthen core values, core strength, identity, my relationship with myself, with my higher power, I'm going to end up tearing something, because you can't consistently operate in power without stability and strength. Ooh, wee. Okay. Okay. So listen, this is why, listen, when you're feeding your physical body, right? This is why the same principles apply as you're feeding your physical body. What you put in it affects what comes out, right? It's the same way with your mental health. Now I'm getting ready to talk about the mental health part, good people, because like I said, you can be physically disciplined, but mentally lazy. What are you feeding your mind? How is your mental health? What are you feeding that? Are you feeding it news, garbage? And when I say garbage, I mean fear-based news, fear, the world is going to hell in the handbasket. We all know the political climate. We know the economical climate, right? Right? We know the presidential climate. But is that what you're constantly feeding yourself? Because what you're feeding your mind matters. Where is your mental health? What are you feeding it? So I wrote this down. What are your thoughts like? Right? Are you observing your thoughts? Who do you spend the most time with throughout your day? I want you to hear this. You. So, what are your thoughts like? Like Dr. Ford always says, on the best days of your life, you have your best thoughts. On the worst days of your life, you have your worst thoughts. Are you slowing yourself down enough through your everyday processes in life to observe your thoughts? You can't stop the thoughts of fear. You can't stop the thoughts of doubt, feeling overwhelmed, feeling uncertain, but you can slow yourself down long enough to observe your mental health, your thoughts, to observe, what am I feeding my mind every day? What's your morning processes like every day, good people? When you wake up, do you turn on the news first thing in the morning? Is that what you're watching? Or do you get your mind together first thing in the morning? Do you talk to your nervous system first thing in the morning and tell it what you want to tell it, right? Hey, let's get up, let's get going. This is a new day. How do you talk to yourself? What is your mental health like? Because whatever you're feeding your mind, it's affecting your clarity. Whatever you're feeding your mind, it's affecting your authenticity. Where's your mental health at? Right? So ask yourself, what am I thinking? So this is what I wrote down. Ask yourself on a daily basis, what am I thinking? And why am I thinking this? Is this even something that I need to be thinking about? What is your mental health like? And if it is something that you need to be thinking about, then you take it a step further. Is it truth? or is it stories? Oh, you hear me talk about this all the time. You got to separate the truth, right? Right? The truth, the facts from the stories. See, listen, some of y'all don't need no more motivation. Y'all don't need no more information. You just need to observe your thoughts. You just need to become more aware of your thoughts. You just need to become more aware of your mental health. Recognize your thought patterns. What is your mental health like? You spend the most time with you. And if you can't observe your mental thoughts, if you can't slow yourself down long enough to ask yourself, what am I thinking? And why am I thinking this? And do I need to be thinking this right now? Mental health, good people. Or are you just functioning, letting the programs run? Yeah, come on, the health leg. What is your health like? Okay, which brings me to the next part of the health leg, the spiritual health. Spiritual health. I'm almost done, man. Thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for rocking with me. Listen, drop your questions in the comment, your statements. Like I said, it might not even be a question, good people. You just might have something to say. That statement might help somebody in the community. Or if you have a question, I'll get to it. Drop it in the comment. So, spiritual health. What's your spiritual health like? Like I said, you can be working out every day physically, but neglecting your spiritual workouts. So I wrote this. What is your spiritual climate like? Do you slow down enough to check in with your higher power? What grounds you, good people? That's what I wrote down. Prayer, meditation, scripture, breath work, nature walks. What is your spiritual health like? Y'all already know my spiritual routine. I talk about it a lot. I wake up, breath work, mantras. Uh, I talk to my nervous system every day. I'm really big in self-talk, which is mantras. I'm really big in breath work, right? I pray still, but my prayer just looks a little bit different since I deconstructed my faith, right? My prayer is just more so conversation with God. I check in with my higher power every day, every day, not just in the morning, but throughout the day, right? Because listen to this. What reconnects you to truth? I wrote this down. What reconnects you back to your soul truth? What reconnects you back to your spirit, right? Because if your spirit is dry, your whole life feels heavy. You cannot dry out your spirit. What is the climate of your spiritual health? Are you sick spiritually? Oh, are you sick? Are you sick mentally? Right? Or are you just functioning? Is your spiritual health is just something that you just kind of you just go about your day. You don't really check or gauge the climate on it. You don't even know if you sick or if you healthy in your spiritual climate because you ain't checked it lately. What is that like, good people? That matters. That matters. Your spiritual health matters. Okay, listen. I want to ground you in this soul truth before we move on to the emotional health. Listen, I'm almost done. Look, I get excited about this. This is my framework, good people. These 4 legs of life, and within each one of these legs, you have to tighten up the screws. So with the health leg, you got 4 screws that you got to make sure you keep tight: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So listen, this is the soul truth I want you to get before we go to the emotional health, right? When I say spiritual routine, your spiritual routine should pull the best version of you out, not just make you feel religious. Ooh, wait. I'm gonna say that one more time. Your spiritual routine should pull the most authentic, best version of you out, and not just make you feel religious. That's gonna hit you later. Okay, listen. So listen, now let's talk about this emotional health, man. I'm almost done, man. I'm almost done. Listen, emotional health, right? This is your energy in motion. When I talk about emotional health, I'm talking about your energy in motion, emotional health, right? So listen, what are you feeling all day long? That's what I'm talking about. What are you feeling all day long? Fear. I wrote down fear, doubt, urgency, pressure, shame. See, we already talked about pressure ain't bad. Pressure is just data points, good people. Pressure ain't bad. It's just data points. It just gives you information back on what it is that is revealing in you, the pattern, right? So listen, I want you to ask yourself this because pressure reveals something, right? So every day, what are you feeling? Are you feeling anxious every day? Every day, do you doubt yourself? That's not health, good people. That's not health. Your emotional health, then you're sick. If every day you're criticizing yourself, if every day you're judging yourself, right? If every day you're telling yourself something that you did wrong and not what you did right, your emotional health is sick. That's not healthy, right? Why do I keep feeling this? That's what most people ask themselves. Why do I keep feeling this way? Right? I wrote down what pattern keeps producing this emotional state. That's something that you have to figure out, right? Because your energy in motion is not random. Your energy. So, okay, let me say it like this. Let me say it like this. When people come in contact with you, you know the first thing that they feel before you ever say something? Your energy in motion, your emotional state. What is that feeling that they're encountering? What is that? Do when they get around you, do they feel heavy when they get around you? Or do they feel life when they get around you? Right? Right? Do they feel empowered when they get around you? Or do they feel like, I need to get away from that person? Why do I feel that way when I get you ever felt that way when you encounter somebody and your emotional state, your energy emotion was high, and then you crossed emotional states with somebody and it kind of dropped and you was like, ooh, what's that? Do people feel like that when they get around you? That's your emotional health. What is it like? Are you walking yourself through pressure moments? Are you walking yourself through shameful moments? Are you walking yourself through those moments where you feel overwhelmed? We talked about that, me and Dr. Ford, the relationship with yourself, pressure, feeling overwhelmed, feeling fear. That's just data. That's just information, good people. So listen, I want you to see this. Emotions are not random. Emotions are just information that's telling you what's revealing the pattern that needs to be changed. How is your emotional health? That matters. What are you saying to yourself every day? How do you feel? That matters. So listen, your emotional health determines your energy in motion. And people can feel that. So what are they feeling when they encounter you? Right? So listen, in this episode, it's all about getting that health together. Right? In this episode, it's all about tightening up one of the screws that's part of that health leg. So if one of those screws needs to be tightened, listen, good people, y'all already know. You need to hit me up for a Soul Truth Power Session one-on-one. Me and you, this is what the Soul Truth Power Sessions do. I help you tighten up your legs through the 5R framework. We recognize the patterns, right? That's causing you to have those loose legs, and then we regulate your body through those emotions because you're going to feel a way, right? And then we get a new revelation on what to do different, and then we build a rhythm around your alignment and your authenticity in real time so you can put that on repeat mode. Tell your soul truth so you can dare to be you. Email me for your one-on-one Soul Truth Power Session today. flthelifecoach@gmail.com. And listen, if you need tools, click that link. Shopify store, right? You can take me home with you. My voice, right? These tools are going to help you. So click that link. Merch is out, digital products and merch. Click the link in the Shopify store. So listen, and shout out to Dr. Larry Ford and the founder of Hands to Guide You Mental Behavioral Health, right? For all your mental behavioral health need, brain mapping, right? Right? If you need anything dealing with trauma, brain mapping, or just trying to figure out your behaviors, right? What's driving that behavior? Reach out to Hands to Guide You right here locally in Oklahoma City. I think I attached email, not his email, but his website in the description below. I think it's h2gy.com, but I'll attach it below. But reach out, man, for all your mental behavioral health needs, man. Yeah, shout out to my boy, Dr. Larry Ford. And listen, as we close today, good people, in closing, I want to leave you with this as I close. Health is not just physical. It's not just in your body. Health is mental. Health is spiritual. Health is emotional, right? Right? And if one area of your health is lacking, your whole life feels unstable, and it affects your ability to show up as your authentic self. So listen, man, go back, check out those other episodes. This is part 4 of the 4 legs of life. Go check out the other 3 parts. And then next week, fellas, join me, a special Father's Day live edition. I got ahead of myself, like I said, man. I got ahead of myself. But next week, we going deeper. Special Father's Day live, Soul Truth edition. The 5 P's of a regulated man: priest, prophet, promoter, protector, yeah, provider. You don't want to miss this conversation, man. And so listen, until next time, good people, this is the leg of life. This is part of the health leg. I just dropped it down for you. Share this video with somebody that needs to hear it. You're going to have to replay this video a couple of times because this is a great video about health. These are my frameworks, that my philosophies. In over 20 years of personal development, these things is what I found to be true. Not just for me, but other people that I've coached, that I've talked to, that I've seen. If one of these legs are loose, your whole life runs the risk of wobbling, and even it runs the risk of collapsing. Shout out to my boo thing. I'm a witness. There you is, baby. Listen, I've been with my boo thing for 27 years. She know, good people, I'm not just saying this for the video. This is what I live. I do this. I embody this. So listen, until next time, good people, same bad time, same back channel. Make sure, fellas, you join me next week for the Father's Day edition. And since there's no more comments, listen. But listen, before I get up out of here, you know, my wife always say, this is my preacher voice. This is my preacher voice. Before I get up out of here, listen, I want you to comment health. If any part of this video hits you, right, comment health, man. If you serious about tightening up your health leg, comment health. Let's do it together. So next time, same bad channel, same bad time. I'm FL, your life coach. This is Soul Truth Sunday, baby. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. No matter what you do, no matter what conversations you have, no matter where you go today, you already know what to do, good people. Dare to be you. Happy Sunday to you.